Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and I'm back with more Harakiri. If you didn't see my previous video with the adventure phase where you're walking over a big overland map, you should definitely watch that first. It sets up this entire thing, and it's a continuing narrative. But now I'm going to show you the first exploration phase, where you fight in a dungeon crawler style game. And I think the rules for this one are pretty straightforward, so I'm just going to jump right in with the intro narrative, and then we'll get to the fighting. This should be a quicker video. This first exploration phase is pretty straightforward. After their difficult journey from the city of Ise, facing bands of the Shogun's followers, the four companions have gained access to the Tengu Forest. Their main objective is to protect the rebels hiding the Emperor's son and get him to safety away from the clutches of the tyrant. This forest is vast and full of dangers, and there's much to do. Will they be able to find the child? You must be alert, the Ronin whispers, bringing his right hand to the hilt of his razor-sharp katana. I have only a certain feeling, but something is stalking us from the thickets. That is bad news. I am uneasy that the forest is so quiet, Tomoe adds. All trace of life has left this place. Exactly. It's too quiet, says the ninja. No birds sing. The silence is sepulchral, and I don't like it. Something's about to happen. If you don't pay attention, even a kappa can be swept away by the current of a river, says Hikaru, using his poise to calm their fear. Akira is right. Stay alert. The forest is on our side. It is a sacred place, and we must protect it. It is in danger, and the act of defiling it is an offense to the kami. Bamboo has always grown here, and it is home to noble creatures that belong to here. The green pheasant, the sika, the salamander, and the sorrel. Unfortunately, it's not all good now, Tori says. There are weeds in this forest. They threaten us, but we can nip them. Quietly, comrades. Let us move on. The rightful heir awaits us. Okay, now we get to a choice. Soon they arrive at a fork and must choose. Will they advance through the exposed path that goes along the cliff, or choose the apparent quietness of the onsen and its hot springs? Well, apparent quietness sounds good, so I'm going to choose the onsen. Go to page 18. Okay, so now we get a little setup diagram. This is a very basic first map. It's just a single tile. We've got some kappa little demon guys here. We've got a letter A there. We've got a door we can open here, and here's where we're going to be spawning. And there's also some spawn points for the enemies. I guess more kappa might come out of there. We get some more flavor text. Suddenly the calm is interrupted by loud cries. Help! You rush forward and find a beautiful onsen, normally a peaceful hot springs lagoon, but now, to your dismay, its tranquility has been shattered. Ferocious kappa have unleashed disaster on an unlucky family. The father had helped his wife and daughter climb up to a hut to temporary safety, but the kappa have captured him, tied a rope around his neck, and they are drowning him in the lagoon while his wife and daughter scream in despair. The kappa hold him underwater by the rope, laughing and watching the victim run out of air. He doesn't have much time left. Okay, now we get sort of some core rules here. So objective, defeat all the enemies and find a way to reach the heart of the Tengu Forest. When there are no enemies left in the area, we'll read passage 8. Malice is cumulative. I'll show you that in a moment, but it builds up as we take too much time in a scenario. It can make us lose automatically. We get some slight differences based on how well we did in the adventure phase. Because we were successful in the adventure phase, we're going to have 2 of these green cards and 1 red card. These will activate different events and will also make the enemy activations weaker or stronger, so having more red is worse. Special rules, you can interact with A by performing an attack with a range 3+ weapon. So that's going to be Tomoe with her bow. I guess that's her like shooting the rope that they're drowning the guy with. And if I deal at least 3 damage with that attack, I'll read that section. And then if other letters pop up, there'll be other sections to read, including if I interact with the one door on the hut, I'll read section 7. So that's kind of how the story will progress as we explore. And here's everything all set up. Like I said, it's a pretty small little first tile. We've got Tomoe with the longest range down here. I've got Hattori the ninja a little bit farther away. Akira, my strongest character with the most life here. And Hikaru at the top. And yeah, there's 3 kappa on the board right now. And a quick note, if you watch my other video, you might have noticed my many errors. The big one being I didn't realize that you didn't heal all your health at the end of a mission. All you heal is 3 health automatically. So I retconned some stuff. I took away a lot of the money my characters earned and spent some money to buy some ramen. I also imagined that they had gone outside of the city and then just used a single action to rest. You can do that as much as you want and camp and get 1 health back for each. So long story short, my characters have a lot less money and less stuff, but I've given them each 1 less than max life. I figure that might be more in line with how I would have played if I hadn't been an idiot and not known the 4 rules yet. Besides that, pretty much everything is the same as what you saw in the adventure mode, except in the exploration mode, you're going to get these blue key dice, and these are used to activate powers. Now, this is going to be very basic in this first scenario. It gets way more interesting, at least that's what they've told me, as you go further along, because you have as many of these dice as your level. So 2 at level 2, 3 at level 3, 4 at level 4, and you get more skills, and you're like using the dice to activate the skills. Now again, in this first scenario, the dice used to be very basic. We only have 1 skill, only 1 die. The values we roll won't matter as much, but you'll still see it in action as we go. So yeah, let's just jump into the first round, and I'll kind of talk through the mechanics as we go. Again, I might be getting some things wrong, so I'll have notes from the publishers as I watch in case anything is way off. So the first step of a round is to draw a card from the Oracle deck. This is the 2 green, 1 red thing that I set up. I got a green card. And now I'm going to refer to these cards for the active zone. So for the Onsen, they had 2 cards, a green and a red. Sometimes you'll have a single card that's purple, and it won't matter which color you drew. But when you have green and red, you move the card matching the color of the card drawn. So in this case, this green Onsen one. And I'm going to slide it out to see the first event. Basically kind of going down. This is a little bit like the planet exploration cards in ISS Vanguard, for those who saw that. I'm going to see something. So it says, help the helpless. Okay, and I just pull it out until I see the first effect fully, which says, oh, all my characters gain 1 additional action. So we'll each have 4 actions this round. That's not bad. Now, additionally, this whole green-red thing will change the enemy activation. You'll see that if I had drawn a red card, they would be aggressive. Because I drew a green card, they are normal. So that's going to change how they activate. And finally, one more thing from these. If I had pulled the green card all the way out and there were no more events, instead, whenever I got a green result, I would move up this malice track. And this is just like a kind of ongoing timer. It builds up from location to location. It does not reset after each tile. And if it gets all the way to 6, the top of this little track you're looking at, then you lose. By the way, I'm not sure if it starts on 0 or 1. I didn't see it in the setup. I'm assuming 0, but you might see a note here that is confirming or denying that that is correct. Okay, next we determine initiative. And the initiative system in this game is card-based. And each round, it's going to be randomized. So I have 1 card for each enemy and 1 card for each of the heroes. And they're each going to activate when their card is drawn. So we've got Ninja, Monk, okay, Tomoe, Blue Kappa, Akira. Wow, we're going a lot earlier. And then green and then yellow, unless we kill them beforehand. And you might ask why they don't use tokens or something, kind of like Red Dragon Inn. But there are many abilities, including Akira's starting skill, that let you change the initiative and move people around in the initiative. Including something we can do right now. We can swap 2 characters. So let's see. I'd kind of prefer Tomoe instead of attacking to do that A test and try to save the villager. So let's save her for last and have the other 3 go and try to murder some people. Okay, so what happens as we activate people, starting with Hattori here? So normally we'd have 3 actions. In this case, now we've got 4. Oh, no, by the way, I should have rolled everyone's die at the start. So he got a 4. We'll see other people when they activate. So unlike the adventure mode with actions, if you don't use all your actions by the end of a round, you can save 1 for the next round. So you'll get 3 actions each round, and if you saved at least 1, you'll have 4. But you can't save more than that, so I might as well use at least 3 actions this turn. Now, what can I do with my actions? First of all, I can move, and like the adventure phase, this is once per round. I have to use at least 1 action. That'll get me 3 movement points plus my stealth dexterity stat, the exact same as the adventure phase. And like in the adventure phase, I can spend extra actions, but in this case, each extra action gives me 3 more movements. So it would be with him having 1 stealth, 4 or 7 or 10, so I can move a lot if I wanted to. And you can move diagonally or orthogonally. You can move through your allies, but not stop on them. But you can't move through enemies, and also, interestingly, you can't move diagonally past enemies. Imagine yourself like actually trying to go through there and knocking into their base, so you have to go orthogonally when you want to get around enemies. And I think purple is the only special terrain on this one. That's difficult terrain. It costs 2 movement to move out. So there's one of the, I know dungeon crawlers kind of switch back and forth between this. It costs more to move out of the terrain, not to get into it. Other actions I can use, I can do an attack. Now here, the different sides matter. This is a quick attack and takes 1 action. This is a heavy attack and takes 2 actions. And you can only attack once per activation. So if you have the actions, usually heavy is going to deal more damage. The dice are the same as you saw in the adventure phase. You roll that number. Red's best, purple is second best, green third best, orange worst. And this is the range. This Kusarigama can attack at up to range 2. Range is calculated orthogonally or diagonally. And line of sight is pretty simple. You go from center to center. If you pass through occupied squares, I believe that includes allies, then you can't see. And if you go through the diagonal of occupied squares, unless they're both occupied, you're okay. So like Hattori could attack diagonally to the green Kappa here with his 2 range without Akira getting in his way. Now as a free action, you can place key dice in your skills. Some skills, as we level up, will have requirements for what value is placed in, but all of their starting skills have no requirement because you only have 1 die. So I might as well go and put roll in here. It says before or after an attack, add movement points depending on the value of the die activated. Using these points does not count as a move action. So before or after Hattori attacks, he gets 2 free movement. I'm going to have way too many actions here. And these key dice are going to count down every round. You'll see that soon. So that'll go down to 3 and then 2 and then 1 and then it comes off. And that'll matter a lot, the counting down, when we get to more advanced skills. Like here's a level 5 one for Hikaru. This 4 means you can only place a 4 or higher in here, and it also means the ability only works while there's a 4 or higher in there. So Hikaru's spiritual protection would apply, like let's say he put a 5 in here. For the round he put the 5 in, it would help. Then it would tick down to a 4, would help another round. And then he would have to wait several more rounds for it to come off the board because they stay in there even if they're not applying. Although there are ways to pull it off, mainly with this spirituality stat. We'll see that in action soon. Although, again, it'll kind of barely matter for this scenario. But let's actually take some action. So I'm going to attack. I'm going to do a heavy attack. And I'm going to roll before the attack. Since Hattori is so mobile, might as well get him somewhere. So I'm going to go bloop, bloop, within 2 range of the blue kappa. And to look at their stats briefly, this is their weaker side. There's a stronger side, too. They have 3 life, 3 movement, 1 range, 2 block that cannot be canceled, so they'll always cancel the first 2 attack unless there are a few ways to hit better than that. And then 0 armor that can be degraded. So the shields will never go away. The armor, kind of like our armor when you saw Hattori in the adventure phase, it can be broken down. So some characters like Samurai will have things like that. And how does attacking work? So I'm going to roll an orange, a green, and a red. Subtract 2 for the number of slashes, and then every other point will deal 1 damage. If I can do 3 damage, I kill him outright. Now, you can also choose to roll the focus die, and this is kind of a push your luck risk reward mechanic. If you roll this and you get a blank, your attack misses entirely. If you roll this and you get a red, your attack misses entirely. That's a critical failure, and not only do you miss, but if you're in their range, they get to counterattack you. Now, for the kappa with Hattori attacking with your range weapon, that would not apply. And then the positive results, that's 2 bad results, by the way, a blank and a red. The white don't add anything to the attack itself, but after the attack, they'll degrade this hurtable armor by 1. So here with the kappa, most of these results are useless. And then finally with a green, you degrade armor after the attack, but you also ignore all armor of both types for the entire attack. So that's the only result that would be helpful here. And the black and red would just be misses because there would be no counterattack. So that's 2 hurtful sides and 1 helpful side. I'm not going to use the focus die for this attack. All right, so let's see how this goes. And I got just 2, but hold on. Note that there is a black and a white dragon. If you get at least 1 pair of the colors, then you get to activate a yin-yang bonus on your weapon, which in this case is reroll 1 die, except not the focus die. So I could reroll the red, which has like a 2, a 3, and a 4 hit side. Or I could reroll the orange, which is likely just going to give me like 1 damage. I'll go for the red and go for the potentially big hit. Oh my gosh, that was great. So that is a 4 plus 1, 5. This is awesome. That's a 5 minus 2 is 3, so the blue kappa is defeated immediately. Heck yeah, Hattori. And when enemies die, if you're adjacent to them, you get their head for free. Like in the adventure phase, these could be sold for 10 money later. But if you're not adjacent, then they're over there, and it's a free action when you're near them later to pick them up. And sure, Hattori's got 2 actions left, and I don't really have much else I need to do, so let's just have him spend 1 action to move up to 4. He'll just move 1. He doesn't have a ton of life or armor, and he'll kind of stay far away. Okay, next is Hikaru. Okay, so he can use his ancestral bow, which has 2 range, does plus 1 hit on a yin-yang result. Or he could use an action to switch to his summoner's sword, which does only 2 dice, but they're the strongest ones, and only has 1 range. But on a yin-yang, he would poison them, which means they get minus 1 to all of their rolls for the rest of the fight. But here they die pretty easily. I think I'll just stick with the ancestral bow. And his skill has a lightning bolt. That means you still can put the die in for free, but you need to take an action to use it. And as far as I can tell, I didn't see in the rules any limitation on using the same skill more than once. But again, I'll leave a note if that is the case. So his is you can remove your negative conditions and those of one adjacent ally, and then you both regain hearts according to the value of the activated die, which with the 5 is 3 healing. So maybe I shouldn't have used all those actions to get my people back up to snuff. I could just have Hikaru heal them like very quickly. Yeah, so is it limited for actions? I don't know. Let's go ahead and use it once though. We're already next to Akira. So Hikaru will heal to full, which is again 8 based on his level. And he's next to Akira, who is also down 1 life. We'll heal him back to 11. Then Hikaru will use 2 actions, a heavy attack to attack the green kappa. And again, he's got orange, green, purple, and if he gets yin-yang, he can add 1 hit. I don't think this will go as well as Hattori. Oh my friggin' god. That's the highest result for all those dice. And he got the yin-yang. So 3, 5, 7, plus 1, 8. Okay, that's silly. Good job. I gotta slow down with killing these guys so I can actually save the peasant and all that stuff. Hikaru's got a move left, or an action left. I mean, he could save it for next turn, but sure, he'll go and go over here. Well, actually, you know what? He can let somebody else pick up the head. He's the one who's got a billion team money, right? Well, he spent it already to get his sword. But yeah, he'll save his last action for next round. Okay, so next is Akira. His ability is Sixth Sense. At the start of the round, modify your initiative position 1 position, so he can swap with an adjacent card. And he's got a 3, so he'll just go and lock that in, and that's just an ongoing ability until the die ticks down, but then, of course, you can put another die in. So again, these skills are much less interesting than when later you'll have some dice choice. And his weapon has 1 range, and it looks like the exact same dice as Hikaru. But if he gets yin-yang, he gets to roll an extra green die, which I guess could be better or worse than 1 free hit. Now, by the way, you might remember that his Kami ability from the adventure phase was +1 hit to sword test. That is specifically, all of these first level abilities are specifically just for the adventure phase, so he does not get this bonus in these combats. All right, so how far does he have to go? Well, he was here, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he does need to unfortunately use 2 actions to move far enough. So that'll get him 6 movement points. So he'll go and go 1, 2, 3, 4, sure. And that'll use his other 2 actions to do a heavy attack on the yellow kappa. And again, if he gets yin-yang, he gets an extra green result. There we go, that's a more normal thing. We did get the black and white, so here we go. Oh, crud, did we still kill him? Crud, oh, wait, we're not going to immediately move on, are we? I want to save that, that guy who's getting drowned. Okay, yellow is defeated. Okay, it says we go to 8 when we defeat everyone. If you previously marked 1 box next to healers, read 4, otherwise 5. Oh, man. Are they going to punish me for not... I guess I should have held off on killing that last guy until Tomoe got a chance to help the dude. Yeah, okay, this is kind of annoying. I guess I should have figured this would happen. The woman rushes out of the house toward her husband's body. You let her cry for her loss briefly, because you know that currently you don't have much time. I have lots of time. I did this. Okay, it's fine. We are terribly sorry we couldn't do more for your husband, but we want to avoid further deaths of innocent people. How can we get to the heart of the forest? Without even looking up at you, the woman indicates a direction with her head and keeps weeping over the dead body of her former lover. Great. Okay, place interaction token C on the red spawn token. Remove the red spawn token. Okay, so now we have a new place we can go. I guess Tomoe will try to get to there. All right, and all the kappa are dead, so they're clearly not activating, so it's going to be Tomoe. So her skill is military discipline. She has +1 range to her weapon while using a bow, which is which weapon I pick. So she's got 4 range with a red and a green die. And if she gets yin-yang, then she gets to make them bleed, which will make them take 1 damage at the beginning of each activation that ignores armor. Pretty awesome. But yeah, and then also changing your weapon does not cost an action, which clearly won't matter yet. So she might as well say she's using that, but it doesn't really do anything. And then, let's see, how far can she get? Oh, we want to grab that head, right? Oh, and where was the other guy? Oh, I guess Akira killed him, Jason, so he gets the head immediately. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so she can get there with 2 actions and then interact for her 3rd. So let's see what C does. The sound of combat seems nearer and nearer. You increase your pace, praying you are not too late. Go to page 20 and follow the step instructions for Zone 2 forest. Wow, that was quick. Okay, so, let's show you what a kappa activation would have been like if I hadn't just murdered them all so quickly. So here, let's say, just to kind of show you the function, let's say that the green kappa was here, okay, when they activated. So it's a pretty smooth system. First, you check whether it was a green or red turn. It was a green. Then you roll a d6. We use that gray die from the adventure phase. We got a 4, so we'd use the 1 through 4 area, and they resolve the first one that they can. Okay, so first they would try to peck somebody adjacent, peck having 1 range, and you'll see they'll describe what the special abilities of an attack are. So it says if peck causes 2 or more damage, then it also causes, is that bleeding? Yeah, so they would make us bleed. If they can't peck adjacent, then they move up to 3 to get adjacent and then peck. If they can't get adjacent to anybody because they're more than 3 movement away, they just move towards an enemy. And who do they target? You use this as the tiebreaker. So here it's plus heart, which means the most life. Sometimes it's the least life. When they're aggressive, they would go after the 1. Or here it's the most armor. Here it's the least armor. So they tend to be smarter and nastier when they're red. But they only count ones that they can reach. So they would only look at all the ones they can get adjacent to. So let's check here. So with 3 movement, the kappa could clearly get next to Tomoe, could get next to Akira. 1, 2, 3. Okay, could not get next to Hikaru. 1, 2. They can't go diagonally, just like we can't. So could not get next to Hattori. And between Tomoe and Akira, Akira has the most life. And then when there's equidistant spaces, they want to go the least movement possible. You get to choose where. So you could put him here or here, and then he would attack with his sharp claws. And for them, that would be, 2 purple and an orange. And Akira's got 2 armor, so they would do, geez, that's a good roll. 6 minus 2 be 4 damage. And because it did at least 2 damage, they would make him bleed, which would just keep on dealing damage every turn, I guess, until Hikaru could get over and heal him with his skill. So that's how an enemy activation would happen if they weren't all dead. So let's go set up the forest. Oh, and sorry, let's say that Tomoe picked up this head. I think she can do it as she's moving. Yeah, it says you can resolve free actions during another action, so she could grab the head as she moved by. All right, let's read our text. After leaving your enemies behind and cutting through the dense vegetation, you stumble into a forest clearing where attackers who serve the shogun have surrounded a strange woman, a sorceress, and are trying to kill her. A huge dome of green energy rises around her, a magical barrier crisscrossed by lightning bolts to protect her from their attacks. She seems to be concentrating in order to complete a ritual. For now, the dome resists, but you see that she is tiring, and it's clear that she will not be able to resist for long. To your surprise, she is naked and her skin is covered with striking tattoos of various snakes. The most shocking thing about her is what she seems to be wearing. 4 large ophidians slither over her body, enveloping and embracing her like bizarre lovers. To aid her, you must face evident danger. The area is littered with corpses, Tengu and soldiers who have already been killed by the tyrant's troops. Everything is working against you, but in this tense situation, it's time to make your blades sing. So the objective, protect the sorceress so her energy shield doesn't collapse. If the sorceress loses all her resistance tokens, the shield collapses and we read 1. Malice. Add 1 Kachi adjacent to orange for each malice point on the malice track. You won't gain any more malice. Okay, so I guess none, because we beat it so quickly. And again, we'll form a deck of 2 green and 1 red oracle card. And we're on the forest board a bit bigger. So we've got resistance tokens here. I'll have to review the rules on how those work. And we've got Kachi this time, which are like enemy samurai. Those are the ones we were fighting. So they will have armor we can degrade. Ooh, and we've also got, what is this guy? An Ashigaru. And we've got some more spawn points. We'll be coming from over here. Okay, let's get this all set up. I'm sorry, I think I was supposed to reduce my key dice because you do that at the end of each round before we get into the forest. Okay, so here we go, and I checked the rules. These resistance tokens will count as their preferred target for any attack, and any attack will remove one of them. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. These are doubled up. 6, 8. So if she takes 8 attacks before I can kill these guys, then her shield is going to collapse. This time I've got a ton of Kachi who have 2 unbreakable armor, but only 4 life, and 1 Ashigaru who's got 1 breakable armor, 1 unbreakable, and 8 life. So I might want to maybe use a focus die on him to weaken him for future attacks. It looks like he's got a ranged or melee option, while the Kachi only attacks at melee. Alright, so we're busting in. Let's put Akira right there. Tomoe, I guess, has the best armor, so even though she's a ranged unit, she can go there. Hattori's the fastest. He'll go here, and then Hikaru can maybe heal Tomoe or something. And alright, let's start another round. We have another red, green, green deck, and we're starting with the green turn. And the forest this time only has purple, which means you always advance 1 regardless of what color was drawn. And here it says, surprise attack. Characters attack with +1 damage and add +1 point of movement for free. That's awesome. So this first round, we just rush in when they don't expect us. Wah! Now let's check our activation order. Red Ashigaru, green Kachi, Hikaru, Akira, red Kachi, Tomoe, okay, purple, and yellow. Slightly off screen there. Okay, so Akira's ability, Sixth Sense, lets him swap left-right with somebody. Sure, he can go before Hikaru, and then I can swap one of my heroes in general. But honestly, I think this is all fine. Okay, so hey, now we'll see some enemy activations. The red Ashigaru is going first. Or I should say the only Ashigaru. So, we are in a normal activation because we drew green. He always does 1 to 6, so he wants to attack the person with the highest armor. Says an attack an adjacent person and then regroup. He doesn't have anybody adjacent, so no. Okay, then he moves to be at range 3, and then he'll do cannon shot. 3 range, it adds a green to his attack, and if it causes 2 or more armor, -1 armor to the target, which means we'd have to go to the blacksmith and pay to fix it. But here he wants to attack the nearest resistance token, and he wants to be 3 away, so he'll actually move 1 space further. Now, all these yellow and red spaces count as obstacles. The difference between yellow and red is that flying units can go onto them. But yeah, you can't move onto these. You can't shoot past them. So to get to 3 range, I guess he would go all the way over here. That's annoying. And then he'll just blast one of these. I don't know that one. Okay, next is the green Kachi. And Kachi will do a green normal. So he will slice adjacent. He's not. Or he'll move adjacent and then attack. Oh, this is the guy that's right next to us. Okay, so I guess he'll go there and destroy that. All right, y'all, you got to slow down here. Okay, so now it's Akira and then Hikaru. And I want to kill somebody who hasn't gone yet, which would be red, purple, or yellow Kachi. Now, Akira didn't have any action point save last time, so he was one of his 3 to move. And I want to get to the red guy to attack, but then move toward the other ones too, maybe. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. Can't go diagonally. And then I'll spend my other 2 actions to do a heavy attack on this guy. And again, I'm not going to use the focus die because the whites wouldn't help. They don't have armor that can break. Only the green would help, but they would counterattack me on a red or I'd miss on a black. Doesn't seem worth it. Okay, and he's got these, and if I get the yin-yang, I get another green. I did. Well, that's not a great roll damage-wise. Okay, so I get a single damage through on the Kachi. And you mark it by putting it next to their number and icon. So there we go. Red has 1 out of his 4 life taken. Okay, next is Hikaru, and he does have 4 actions. I think he has enough, so I'm going to have him spend 1 action while he's next to Tomoe to go in and heal her. That means everyone except Hattori is at full life. Then he'll spend 1 action to move. His thing has 2 range, the bow. So he'll go 1, 2, I guess 3. And then he'll attack the same red one, and hopefully we get lucky and finish him off. That's going to be a heavy attack, so I will be using all my actions. Oh, I forgot. Don't we get +1 damage? Yeah, so red actually took 2 damage, not 1, thanks to that bonus. Which is good. Much more confident that Hikaru can finish him off now. So that's orange, green, and purple with a +1 bonus. If I get the yin-yang, I get +1 more. Okay, so what is that? That's 1, 2, plus the yin-yang 3, plus the ambush 4. Which is exactly enough to finish this guy off. Cool. And I'll leave the head there since he didn't attack adjacent. All right, I'll get rid of that initiative card that's just about to go off. Cool. Which means Tomoe and Hattori will have a chance to attack before purple and yellow go. Yellow's way closer. Let's go for him. All right, so Tomoe has, remember, 4 range with her military discipline, so I'm sure she can attack from where she is. And she's rolling a red and a green if I do a heavy attack, which I will. If she can get a yin-yang, she'll poison the guy, which will do 1 automatic damage at the start of his activation. Although, only 2 dice, that's less likely, I guess. Oh my freaking god. That's a good roll. That's 4, 5, plus 1 bonus 6. That's a straight up kill, y'all. Arrow through the throat, yellow is dead. Makes me feel much better about the integrity of this shield. And she's got 2 actions left. I'll have her spend 1 to walk over here. That's where the head would be, and have her pick it up. And then she'll save her last action for next turn, like before. By the way, I'm forgetting armor again. I should mention that Tomoe's armor is the only one that actually has an ability in the exploration phase. All the rest are just adventure phase. It says at the end of her activation, add 1 value to 1 blue die that's still in her supply, but she hasn't placed on an action yet, which clearly doesn't matter here. Oh, and I should talk about other ways to get rid of key dice before they tick down, because they'll keep on ticking down, as we mentioned. So Hikaru has 1 of the spirituality meditation attribute, and for free once per turn, you can take that many dice and just exhaust them, which means they go into like this separate exhausted pile. And when all your dice are exhausted, you get to re-roll all of them. So long story short, for Hikaru, he can for free get rid of this die when its value goes down. I think 3 is still good. When it gets down to 1 and 2 and it's healing less, he can exhaust it and then re-roll it for free and then put it back in there. Now again, that doesn't matter as much until you have more dice. Additionally, any character can spend 2 actions to take every die they have from everywhere and re-roll them all back into their supply, like reset your key entirely. Again, totally useless to do that in the first scenario, but I want to kind of show you what the options will be later. All right, now going to Hattori. So he wants to get to purple and see if he can get a lucky 1-hit kill, but he's pretty dang far away. Let's see. Hattori's got +1 movement, so 1, 2, 3, 4 would be 1 action. Pick up the head, 5, 6. Okay, so for 2 movement, he can get over here, and then he'll use his last 2 actions to do a heavy attack. Oh, right, I guess he's got 2 range, so sure, he might as well be here instead. Might not make a difference. Actually, wait, hold on. Ooh, I just realized that if we're next to them before they move up, since their first preference in activation is to attack somebody next to them, we can save these resistance tokens. So yeah, I will get right next to the guy. So I'm attacking heavy, not focus, yellow, green, red. And remember, I can re-roll 1 die if I get the yin-yang. All right, here we go. Ooh, that's a good roll. We got a re-roll. We already got 4 hits. Let's re-roll the green. 5 hits. And +1 from the ambush. Is that another 1-hit kill? You are dead. First adventure, y'all. First exploration. It's not supposed to be that hard, I'm guessing. Yeah, wow, this shield is not going down. So that guy is gone. We're just taking the living people. And we'll build initiative after drawing another card. But first, all the dice tick down. So Hattori... Oh, I forgot about his free movement. But yeah, now he's only got 1 free movement. And Tomoe's ticks down to nothing, which means he gets exhausted. But all her dice are exhausted, so she immediately re-rolls them. And now she can put a 6 in there next turn. Again, it'll be more interesting when we have more dice, y'all. Okay, so we're going into round 2. Forest, last attack. We're reading entry 2. While you try to keep the many enemies that arrive at the clearing at bay, suddenly the Tengu forest trembles and a colossal monster bursts into it. Yeah, I was wondering where he was. The Blood Oni. The yokai goes to the great statue of the kami and without hesitation tears off its head and throws it against the protection dome of the sorceress. Remove 1 resistance token from the sorceress's shield. If it's the last, no, we're good. Otherwise, keep reading. The chanting of the sorceress finally stops and she moves to the edge of the forest. Oh, we only did guard for 1 turn. The red Oni wields his axe in front of you. Get ready for the attack! The war horns of the Tengu seem to sound in the distance. You must hold on until help arrives. Okay, so the sorceress is gone. The Blood Oni is going to show up on the red spawn token. If any enemy or characters in those spaces, they are dealt 1 damage for free. Okay, and then we'll add his card to the current initiative queue. From the next round on, he always activates first. Now, that's weird that they say it like that because initiative is supposed to be determined after you do the event, which means he should always be spawning before initiative is made. So I'm just going to put him at the front of the initiative queue right now. Okay, now all we got to do is kill the Blood Oni. Okay, here we go. I had to review the rules for this. So this is a chosen. I feel like maybe this is one of those games where I'm not really fighting this guy because he seems really hard. He's got 31 life. He's got 5 armor, although I can use focus dice to break some of that. He's attacking with many, let's just say many dice. And he's got his own activation deck. These are kind of like the main bosses in the game. So he's going to flip a card. But besides that, the activation will be very similar to the other units where like he takes the first option that is available. And he's going to have this hate track that builds up whenever we hurt him, which will give him extra damage and more armor. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. But hey, it said he spawned on red, and I'm just going to say he spawned on the Ashigaru, and we'll give him 1 free life, because we get to choose whenever it's tied like that. All right, and now we're going to start with the Blood Oni, which is just great, but we'll shuffle up the rest of the initiative. Okay, we've got the green Kachi, we've got Tomoe, Hikaru, Hattori, okay, Kira's last, and then the Ashigaru. So I can swap one of my characters, but the rules do specify that Akira's skill and skills like that happen before that swap. Because I was thinking it'd be cool if I could swap first and then switch him in front of the Kachi, but I can't. So yeah, for now, I don't really see any reason to change. I think it's fine. Okay, so God help us, the Blood Oni is first. What you doing, buddy? So he's got a hate card, and it says Growing Hate. If he draws a hate AI card, set it aside. If he draws another hate AI card, resolve the empowered version. Okay, so it says move up to range 2, and then attack with a focus die. So we will roll a focus die. If it causes any damage, the character will not be able to use attack skills this round. And re-roll the first failure on the focus die. Great. So he can move up to 4 to get within range 2. And he wants... Who does he want? So this is weird. It doesn't say which priority he uses. So both Tomoe and Hattori are within like 2 movement of him using his ability. So I'll say he attacks Tomoe because she has more armor. All right, good luck, Tomoe. Oh, great. And he got the perfect result that will break one of my armor and ignore it. But at least he only rolled 3 hits, so that's not too bad. So yeah, Tomoe loses 1 armor, and armor doesn't help with this attack, and she's down to 7. Honestly, that could have been a lot worse. I feel like he could have eaten me alive. Okay, next is the green Kachi. Oh, and I guess he's also going to attack Tomoe. Maybe I should have rethought this. Oh, credit. I didn't roll. It's a red activation this turn. Okay. Now, it doesn't look like that affects the Blood Oni, but the Kachi is going to Kenjutsu adjacent, so he gets an extra orange. And if he causes any damage, we got to do a 3 stealth check. And if we fail, we're also exhausted, I think that is. This is just all good. All right, here we go. Wow, 4 damage. So 1 from her new lower armor. So she takes 3, and she's definitely taking damage. So she has to roll a 3 or higher. Okay, good. She did not take the negative status effect. But she be hurt. Get out of there. All right, so now it's our turn. I really do think the Blood Oni seems so ridiculous that I'm hoping like the event will automatically get rid of him. So I'm going to focus on killing green and red and just trying to stay alive here. So green already went. Maybe we focus down on red, try to kill him. And I also want to get Tomoe to Hikaru so you can heal her. All right, so she'll go and get her increased range. She has 4 actions. And oh, I guess she can't see the guy because of the Oni. So sure, she'll go like 1, 2, I guess. And she'll use 2 actions for a heavy attack. And she is going to focus because I want to break his 1 armor. This is the Ashigaru we're attacking. Yay, there we go. Oh, great. Really? So she did nothing except break his armor. That's cool, though. Okay, so now Hikaru is next. He's got the least life. I want to get like Akira next to the Blood Oni, maybe. So I think maybe he'll attack and then move over to Tomoe and then heal her. Although he only has 3 actions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, she moved kind of far away. So he'll spend 2 to get next to her. Oh, and then he's only got 1 action left. Okay, he'll just heal her and do nothing else. With the current die value, it's going up to 6. And then because it is about to drop to where he only heals 1, he's going to exhaust this, and then he'll re-roll it. A 5, heck yeah, and he'll put it... Oh, wait, could I have done that before? Yeah, I guess I could have, but I wouldn't have known if I had rolled a 1 or 2, so it's fine. I'll just take the 2 healing. That's it for Hikaru. All right, so now we've got Hattori and Akira, and I want to kill the red guy. So let's have Hattori. He's only got 3 actions as well, but he's fast. He'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he can attack heavy with his 2-range weapon. And he can move afterwards, so he might just like dash away. So now the guy's got 7 life left and only 1 armor. So I'm definitely not going to focus. All right, and here we go. Okay, thank God we got the white and the black to re-roll that red miss. Really? Okay, so that's only 2 damage with his 1 armor. There we go. And his roll is down to 1 free movement, so we'll be like, wow. Now Akira's got 3 actions, but I don't think we can finish that guy off probably anyway. So let's just have him spend 1 action to move next to green, and maybe he'll get lucky with a heavy attack on green. Let's see how it goes. Ooh, that seems like a good roll. And we got, so we get to, what is his? Add a green die. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Heck yeah. Exactly enough to kill the green Kachi. But the Ashigaru is still activating with red. Got to roll for it. We got a 2. Okay, so he wants to attack somebody adjacent. No. Okay, and he moves to be at range 3 to attack with cannon shot. He wants the person with the most armor. So right now, Akira's most armor. So where can he get? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. That seems like maybe the path he would take. What's he do? He attacks with a plus green. Oh, if it causes at least 2 damage, -1 armor to Akira. Dang it. Now, this is a little weird. The game only comes with 2 of each dice color. He's already got 2 green dice, and Cannon Shot says it deals an extra green. So I don't know. Let's roll it again. Just seems like a little odd. That's like Fantasy Flight style dice there. That's a good roll, crud. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extra green. 6. -2 armor is going to take Akira down by 4, and then he's down to 1 armor. Everything is going awesome, y'all. But hey, at least we survived the round, and we know we're going to have a green one next, because that's the only card that's left. Oh, and I'm taking down all the key dice. Now what's next? Please save me. Hold on! Oh, great. Characters deal 1 less damage this turn. Hopefully this is the last turn. So Blood Oni's always first. We've got Akira, Tomoe, Hikaru, Hattori, and Ashigaru. So it says we'll always activate first on initiative, which I think makes it sound like you can't even have Akira go first. But at least we can all wail on the Ashigaru for a while, right? Okay, so let's see what the Blood Oni does. So he's got this hate thing. Okay, but this one is not a hate. So if he draws a hate card, set it aside. If he draws another hate hour card, resolve its empowered effects. Does this just hang out until he gets another hate card and then they both get discarded? That's going to be my guess. Okay, oh god, I should have realized he would have range. Oh god, there's literally everybody. All enemies up to range 2. He moves to be up to 2 range of the maximum number of enemies, and he attacks all of them, okay, with -2 damage at least. For each creature defeated, gain a rage point. I hope he doesn't defeat us. Come to me. Yeah, great. All right, no focus die this time. He's just staying right where he is because we put ourselves all within range 2. Good job, us. Oh, God. Okay, what was it? 3, 4, 5, 6. But -2, so 4. At this point, everyone has 3 armor. So Hattori's down to 5. Tomoe is just loving life. She's down to 3. Akira's down to 4. Now, this time you do heal fully when the battle ends, which is good for us. But your armor does not, so we will have to spend some money at the blacksmith if we survive. And Hikaru's down to 5. All right, that could have been worse. Okay, now everyone kill the Ashigaru with your weakened selves. So Akira will go 1, 2 for his first action. Then he uses other 2 actions for a heavy attack. Oh, by the way, didn't Akira kill the dude? Yeah, he did. So we should have another head. Sorry, I'm thinking ahead to when I got to buy some stuff. But okay, he's attacking heavy. You got this, buddy. You got this. 4. That's not bad. And oh, we did not get a white and a black. Okay, but so that's 3 damage through. So the Ashigaru's got 2 left. Okay, the next is Tomoe. Although I kind of want to just stay next to Hikaru and get healed. Yeah, maybe she'll just hang out. She'll just do nothing. Because I'm confident Hattori will be able to finish off that guy, and I don't want to piss off the Oni and attack him. Okay, so Hikaru is next, and he's only got 3 actions. And again, I don't know if I can use healing multiple times. It seems like maybe I can. So we're going to use all 3 actions to heal Tomoe 6, so she's back to 9 out of 10, and himself, he's back to full life at 8. Okay, and finally, Hattori, he can just roll. Well, I guess I want to get the head in case the mission ends. So we'll have 1 action to move here and then 2 to heavy attack. And he needs to deal 3. Oh, no, that's crud. -1 damage. So actually, Akira did 1 less. So I need to do 4 damage. No, 5 damage. Oh, no. This is suddenly a much harder attack. Or it's not. And we could re-roll, and I'm not going to. Yay, die, Ashigaru. Which means we survive this round. Please, God, give us an event that saves us. I mean, it's got to be, right? This is like Dark Souls style. Spirits on guard. Read 3. Okay, thank God. Looks like I'm right. When it seems that all is lost and your fate is written on the blade of the Blood Oni's axe, the sorceress finally finishes her litany. You detect a change in the grotesque Oni's expression. Is it fear? The ground beneath your feet begins to shake and the earth begins to move. Roots begin to sprout from the ground and twist around the Oni's feet, immobilizing him. Sorceress takes a few steps backwards and a gigantic tree begins to grow in the place where she was standing. Okay, we did not mark Spirits of the Forest. To everyone's surprise, the energy dome... Oh, she still has the dome up? Maybe she just moved into the forest with the dome. Emits a fiery glow and vanishes in a burst of intense heat that stuns her attackers. A motion of the sorceress's hand suggests that she has completed a ritual. The proof is the cloud that forms in the forest clearing, a swirl of green smoke spinning at high speed and getting bigger and bigger at the same time. What's that? It can't be, Hattori says. Oh, wait, Hattori. I don't remember what voice I had for him. Hattori says. He and Akira struggle to their feet, and through the dense cloud of smoke, see the imposing silhouette of a creature reminiscent of a gigantic animated tree. Didn't they already say this? Well, whatever, it's fine. It's a Daidarabochi, the spirit of the forest. That sorceress summoned it. Yes, it's coming to help us, shouts Hikaru. This unusual reinforcement instantly fulfills its function, rushing at the surprised Oni, who must face it with all his power. The fight that then breaks out is between two true titans who make the forest floor tremble with their imposing blows. The brute strength of the colossal Daidarabochi is put to the test against the great size and cunning of the Oni, who attacks with extreme ferocity. Fortune seems to favor the hero's side, and victory looks a little closer, but what happens next surprises everyone. A huge shadow emerges from the thicket, falls on the Daidarabochi, and envelops it completely. The Daidarabochi bellows, then wrestles and attempts to grapple with its intangible enemy with such ferocity that against the odds it somehow succeeds. The shadow is repelled and thrown to the ground where it attempts to reform, but the Daidarabochi does not allow it to do so. With an agility that seems incongruous for a creature of its size, it charges its enemy and stamps down its monstrous leg with all the weight of its body onto the immaterial being. The Daidarabochi's force is so violent, so bestial, that the ground trembles and cracks and the shadow sinks into the crater that forms. When the spirit of the forest steps aside, there is no trace of its rival. The shadow is gone, dissolved into nothingness. The hearers cannot see the hatred that flares in the eyes of the person who gave life to that shadow. The person responsible for its creation is a truly sinister woman who is observing the scene from a distance, hidden among the bamboo. Using her dark powers, she has tried to corrupt the Daidarabochi and subjugate it to her will. Her disastrous failure is compounded now by the fierce pounding of a war drum announcing the arrival of a troop of Sakura clan soldiers who charge full force against their enemies, even the Oni. A cloud of arrows emerges from the forest, a veritable hail of projectiles that sends the Shogun's followers fleeing. Our reinforcements have arrived, Tomoe cries, just as expected from the honorable Sakura clan. Seeing herself heavily outnumbered, the witch, having failed to subdue the spirit of the forest, must flee. She performs a quick incantation to open a magical portal, revealing her presence to all as she does so. She escapes into it, taking with her the Blood Oni, who fears for his life. The Shogun's followers flee, but they will surely return in the future, thirsty for revenge. When the portal closes, calm returns to the forest glade. The intervention of the troops of the Sakura clan has been crucial. For now, it's time to enjoy some well-deserved moments of peace. Akira, Hattori, and Hikaru rush to the Sakura's daimyo, who led the attack, clapping on his shoulders and congratulating him. Tomoe cautiously approaches the strange sorcerer, whom they saved and who aided them. Resourceful stranger, can we offer you assistance? With a few gentle touches, the woman stills the Ophidians that are climbing from around her body, becoming less fierce and more welcome. I thank you. My name is Mochizuki, and like you, an ally of the Tengu in the fight against the Shogun. Jirobu assured me that you would come to the forest, and you showed up at the right time. I thought the battle was lost, that today I would die at the hands of those wretches. Luckily, you prevented that. Who was the witch who opened that portal? Do you know her? Asked Tomoe. I do, and I'm afraid her presence is an ominous sign. She is Keiko, a legendary being of great power. She was once a revenge-seeking Onryo, but such was the hatred she harbored within that she became too self-aware and transformed into what she is today. Even worse, she doesn't travel alone. Her sister Izumi is never far behind. Izumi probably escaped by the portal as well. Mochizuki looks down at the ground, poking it with her toe. Then she looks up at Tomoe again, her face grave. Both sisters were executed for practicing Kodoku, a powerful black magic forbidden by the Emperor. Now their vicious goal is to sow chaos everywhere. What about the Oni? What do you know about him? The ninja asks. Indeed, the creature with the gigantic spear is an Oni, and you have seen what that creature can do. There are many of his race, but this one is especially huge and dangerous. Moreover, he is at the head of the Shogun's horde, so he led the attack. It is said that he belongs to the personal guard of the demon Enmadaihao, ruler of hell itself. It is incredible that you stood up to him in direct combat. I would not call what we did standing up to him. Maybe the Daidarabochi would have crushed him if he hadn't been attacked by that shadow. What happened? Asked the monk. Keiko is responsible, replies Mochizuki. She tried to control him with her black arts, but luckily she failed. The spirit of the forest has great power. Keiko will try to control the Daidarabochi again, and his participation on the wrong side could easily tip the balance. That's why we must protect him at all costs. I can cast a spell to increase its power using some magical pillars forgotten a long time ago to make him safe from her and more lethal and dangerous, but I will need all your help. Are you willing to take this path and find what I need? Will you join me? With fire and blood, sorceress, Akira exclaims, speaking for the group. Count on us with fire and blood. It'll take a long time to find these pillars, exclaims Tomoe. I know, that's why you must hurry. Here you have some scrolls to write down their locations once you find any. How will we locate them? Asked Hikaru. Their location fell into oblivion a long time ago. I'm afraid I can't help you. But when you find one, you will know you're in the right place.
Don't worry, we'll do our job. What about the Emperor's son now? Asked Hikaru. The Tengu will change his location. We'll continue to protect him. We entrust the fate of Japan to you. Jiroba will keep you informed of everything at all times.
Okay, so we mark Spirit of the Forest Enhanced. That sounds good. Give me tree action. Oh, and I did finally get the PDF of this, so I can actually mark things. Oh man, if the blood enemy was dealt 5 or more life, mark first blood. Yeah. Okay, we didn't have Yomi mode. No one got defeated. Oh, if you previously mark hostage, we did. Cool. So we're gonna read 504. This is let's see if she can find her dad. You find a dying Kachi who is still trying to bully a few hostages. You examine them quickly, but you realize at once that none can be your father. These poor people are worn out and near death from their long forced march. It's important to give them water and help them escape, but this is no time for prolonged questioning. You might ask one hostage, or else ask the Kachi before he dies if they know where the rest of the prisoners are. Whom will you ask? I'll ask a hostage. I don't trust the Kachi. The hostage tells you she has seen your father. He is at a large prison camp near Kyoto. The Shogun's troops are expanding that camp and strengthening it to prevent escapes. This hostage was there only briefly and has no more information. Mark the Kyoto camp. Okay, and that'll take me into Chapter 2. I'm going to take this off the air and play some more so I can do my review. Oh, weird. I thought that we leveled up to level 2, but it appears that we don't. We have to go through all of Chapter 2 to level up, which means another whole chapter with no real interesting skill abilities. I'm a little mixed on that, but I'll let you know my full thoughts in another week or two once I play more of this. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.